Hey, Jay here. We're going to show you how to change a tire on this 18-inch rear Yamaha Tusk wheel right now. We have a Dunlop D803GP tire. It's the new Trials rear tire from Dunlop. Really good trail tire. We're going to give you some tips on how to change it and talk about the features and benefits of that tire right now. So the first thing I do is I take the cap and the nut off. And the nut, we keep the nut secure to the cap. We don't keep it down on the rim. A lot of people do that. Bad mistake. Because when your tire does get lower chance of spinning, you could rip the core off the tube. So, and I have a core remover here. You just get it any auto parts store or online. Nice little core remover. I take the core completely out. All the air is out of the tire. So now we got our wrench. 12mm wrench. We're going to loosen the rim lock. And when you loosen the rim lock, you want to take the nut all the way to the last thread or two. You don't want it all the way off because your rim lock will fall off on you. So now I start with the sprocket side up, as you see, and I'm on a good stand. I like one with a center. And of course, a lot of guys are doing this on bucket and barrels, and you can do that. It's just a whole lot easier on a stand. I've got the bead all the way off this side now. Now I flip the tire over. There's the rim lock. I start right next to the rim lock and do the same thing, walk it around. Now an 18-inch rear is a whole lot easier than a 19. So if you have a 19, it's just a little tougher, but same process. And we have videos showing you how to do that as well. So I took one bite in, tucked it under the disc here, about 2.5 inches away, take another bite. We use the Motion Pro tire spoons, and we just barely get in there. And you don't want to go in real far or have huge spoons with points on them. These tire spoons are nice and rounded, and they have a little lip to them, so they'll catch right under the bead of the tire. You could do it with 2 spoons. It's nicer to have 3. Now I'm down to just a 1. And then my tire's all the way off one side. At this point, I flip it over. A lot of people will pull the tube out. There's really no need. I pull over, and I do the exact same process on the other side. About 2 to 3 inches away on each bite. And now with my body, I'm kind of pushing against it here, and I got a gap here. I swing that towards me, get my spoon in here, and I can pull the tire down, like so, and it pops off in one motion. Then at this point, I'll inspect the rim real quick, just to make sure that the band, or in this case it's tape, is all in good shape. So now I'll set the rim down. This is how I'll begin with the new tire, with the disc side up. I have my tube here, and it's still in good shape. So I'll throw my valve core back in the stem here, tighten it back up with my tool, get it nice and tight there. So now I have my new tire here. It's the D803GP from Dunlop. It's a Trials tire. We're going to use it for trail use. I'll talk about that as I'm reinstalling it. So now I kind of push in the tire a little bit, add a little baby powder in there, and I tap it, and it'll kind of spin around the inside of the entire tire. So I have my Trials tire here, and now we stuff the tube back in. Now this is the step that a lot of people don't like to do or feel comfortable doing. They fish the tube in after they've gotten one side of the tire on the rim. For us, this is a lot easier way to do it. So now at this point, we'll put some air in the tube. So we just give it a shot of air. Now, everybody asks how much pressure. First of all, it doesn't register. With as low a pressure as we have, it doesn't even register. So it's just to where it's all firm and filling up, just like so, and we can get started. Here's our tire paste we use. I get it from, it's an auto supply or a heavy truck supply type place that takes tire paste to those stores. This one's called Hunter Engineering. There's also one from Meyer. These work really well. So we just get a sponge in there, and you really want a good tire paste. It really helps you. A lot of guys will use WD-40 and things like that, but unfortunately, you can risk spinning the tire on the rim, those, if they don't dry right away. So we like to use this. It works really well. Dries as soon as you're done. Now this isn't a directional tire, so we don't have to worry about direction on this tire. With the valve stem, I just push it through the hole, and I grab my nut, and I'll use that to hold the stem in place while I start installing the tire. So now I got the nut about halfway on there. I'll push from the bottom, make sure the tube is in there, and I got the tire now in there, and I can push down. The tire's about 3/4 of the way on. These trials tires are pretty easy to install. And I lift from the bottom and then push up. Okay, now the tire's all the way on. Now we haven't addressed the rim lock yet. So for the rim lock, we're going to flip it over. So at this point, our rim lock is like so. You think, oh no, what am I going to do? No big deal. Tire spoons facing that way. Get under there. If you tap the rim lock like so, then you can walk it over like this motion. That's kind of exaggerated, but you just walk it like this. Tuck it against here. With your thumb, I push against the rim lock, push it up, and then pop it in. Now it's in. Flip it back over. Now we're ready to begin on this side. I start a little ways away from the valve stem. One spoon in. One spoon in. Don't go in too far. Motion Pro makes this nice bead buddy. That goes right there. Simple deal. And now, boom. Like, I guess I'm going about 3 inches apart on my bites here. And I'm feeling down. Now, kind of pushing down with my left hand. Now, on a lot of tires, this tire's staying off the bead nicely. Some tires you come around here and need to really do that. Like I said, this 18-inch and trials tire, pretty easy to mount. So I'm pushing down. It's crawling up on me a little bit here, so I'll push down. Now for my last bite, just go like so. Just hold down. I can pull the bead buddy out. Hey, so now we got it all on here. Now we're just going to fill this thing up with air. And it can take a decent amount of air to bead this thing up. So you want to make sure it beads up all the way. These trials tires are designed for tubeless setup in many cases. I've only rode trials a few times. Trials is kind of one of those things, if you don't pick it up early in life, like skateboarding or surfing, you're probably not going to be able to do it. So, but we run these trials tires is on the trail. They work amazing on most trail conditions, work amazingly well even in the sand. The only place they don't shine is on mud, deep mud. So if you're in deep mud, you want to avoid that. So we've got our bead all the way on. Now we're going to flip it over. Now that we flipped it over, we're going to double check our beads all the way on. If you don't double check, you'll tighten one side, you'll tighten the rim lock, and sure enough, you'll flip it over and you won't be beaded up. So check both sides. Now I'm going to tighten the rim lock. You don't want to over tighten your rim lock, but you want it good and snug. So get it about that tight. So about like so. And again, these trials tires are really good on trails. If you're in dusty conditions, they don't make as much dust as a knobby. They tread lighter on the trails. Really good tire for a lot of use. So at this point, we're going to air down our tire to our pressure. We have our Motion Pro digital gauge. For trail use, we tend to be anywhere from probably 12 at the high end down to 8 or so. Trials guys run these things at 4 to 6. Now, we're going higher speeds than that. So these trials tires work really well in a wide variety of terrain. Not good in the mud, also not good for high-speed stuff. If you're connecting a bunch of dirt roads or asphalt roads in between and you want to be going 50, 60 miles an hour, probably not the best thing. But for tighter trails, they work just tremendously well. So that's how to install a Dunlop D803GP tire onto your rear wheel.